welcome to Storyboard. I'm Shibani Kharat. As India accelerates towards an electric future, consumer skepticism around EVs, from charging infrastructure to cost and reliability, still lingers. JSW MG Motor is attempting to change this. Through campaigns such as EV Sahi Hai, MG is addressing some myths head-on, one consumer at a time. With the festive season around the corner, all eyes are on JSW MG Motor's next move. How is the company responding to the changing consumer sentiment, supply chain challenges, new GST regime, and the high voltage expectation of India's EV landscape? Anurag Mehrotra MD, JSW MG Motor, is addressing this for us. Joining us in a special chat today, we have Anurag Mehrotra, MD of JSW MG Motor India. Welcome to CNBC TV18.
Thank you. Lovely seeing you after ages.
And this is your first television conversation after joining MG Motor.
That's correct. Please be kind.
Of course. So we are speaking and meeting on the back of EV Sahi Hai, your new campaign where you are addressing and busting myths around EV and purchase of an EV vehicle. So tell us more, how did you develop insight for this particular campaign? And a lot of small films are running on TV and social platforms right now. So tell us more, what were the insights that you gained?
Absolutely. I think the EV as a category is about 2.5% of the total passenger vehicle industry. And this is what it was by December of last year. Today, it stands at about 5%. So it's already doubled as a percentage of the total passenger vehicle industry. We believe that by 2030, it should get to about 15% of the industry. Now, for it to get there, it is very important that the category creation work has to happen. It's a new technology. People have to understand the technology, get comfortable with it. So we said, okay, we can try and keep talking about our products, but it is very important that we try and create and people should start embracing the category, right? Because the products are great, they drive extremely well, they are very quiet, the torque that you get is fantastic, and it's environment friendly. So it is very important that category creation get done. So that was the start point. Second thing we did was we spent a lot of time talking to consumers to understand what were the barriers to purchase. We listed them down on a whiteboard and said, okay, what could be the mitigation plan for each one of these? People said, you know, we have range anxiety. Okay, so we started bringing products in which were delivering 400, 450 kilometers of range, which is far more than what anybody would drive in a day. Second barrier that came up was, hey, what happens to the warranty? Because the battery is about 60% of the cost of the car is the battery. What happens to the warranty on the battery? So we said, we'll give you lifetime warranty for the first customer. People said, you know, the cost of an EV is higher than the cost of a typical petrol vehicle.
Indeed.
So we said, we will bring battery as a service where the battery gets funded separately and the car gets funded separately. As a consequence, what you would end up paying for fuel is what you would end up paying for the battery as a service. So the acquisition cost of the car drops significantly, right? So we looked at every one of these elements and we weaved that into our sort of product and solutions approach to selling of the EV. Then we said, you know, there are concerns that consumers may have. So we said, okay, one of the single biggest reason to buy EV was the cost that you save. And we said, you know, because it varies so much from consumer to consumer, we said, why not use real people, real experiences as a theme and let our customers tell others? Because it is a category where the word of mouth is the single largest source of sale, right? So when you talk to your friends, they tell you which car to buy. You probably already are predisposed to that sort of a brand or that category of product. So we said, okay, let's first start with real people, real experiences and get people to tell what is it that they have, why have they chosen EVs? And we picked two issues. The first issue we picked was really around the cost. So we got consumers to tell, hey, when I was driving a petrol car, this is what I would spend. Now when I'm driving an EV, this is what I spend. I actually save so much, right? So that became the first sort of very simple customer testimonial sort of a route. The second thing that people were constantly talking about is, hey, what happens on long drives? How will I know where the charging infrastructure is? So we said fair game. So we took stories of consumers when they've done long drives on what happens, how do they plan it, do they really have an issue? We got them to talk about it. So it was all about, hey, a person just like you has experienced an EV and he's sharing his story of what it is like to drive a EV, and all your concerns are getting addressed through their experiences. I think before the campaign started out, we also spoke to Amphi because they inspired us to create this tagline of EV Sahi Hai.
Mutual fund sahi hai.
That's right. So we kind of spoke, we did multiple rounds of conversations with the CMO.
Yeah.
And he guided us around, how did they start the campaign? What was some of the authenticity? For us, he said, you have to make sure it is very authentic. Because if it is authentic, the believability will be high.
Yeah.
That's why we said, okay, instead of starting with stars, we will start with real people, real experiences. Let them tell you what it is like when you own an EV and you drive an EV.
Yeah, but are the stars in the pipeline? Are they coming?
Yes, I think what the second phase is where we've taken the Fukre boys, Pulkit and Varun, and we've created films around them chatting about the fact that, again, inspired by Kotak, Kona Kona Kotak campaign, we said, hey, what if we could say, anywhere you go today, you will find a charging station. So we've got inspired by many campaigns.
Financial services brands and applying it to mobility, to like auto.
That's
it's quite amazing.
Yeah, it's, inspiration is everywhere. You've got to draw on it and then try and see if you can create a narrative which a consumer can relate to. I think that is really what EV Sahi Hai is all about.
Perfect. That sounds really exciting and really inspiring. In fact, how you've taken inspiration from like Amphi and Kotak and, taken those examples and applied it to your campaigns. But having said that, what is the larger vision towards electric mobility for JSW MG Motors?
Okay, so when we formed the joint venture between JSW and SAIC to create JSW MG Motors, we clearly articulated that our vision is to be a leading automotive brand in the new energy space. That is the charter for us to go and deliver on. I'm happy to report that in a very short period of time, our market share, which used to be sub 10% in EVs in the year 2020, we finished the year last year in 26%. First quarter, we were at 28%. Today, we are at 30-35% in terms of market share in the EV space. So we are growing strength to strength. We are adding new products, both in the mass market as well as in the premium segment.
Great.
But the intent is clearly to stay true to the new energy space. We will have ICE products, which is petrol and diesel products, but the center of gravity will be new energy vehicles. Because like our shareholders have said, this is like a Maruti moment for us, because the industry is going through a transformation. It is once in a lifetime opportunity to establish a very strong brand in the new energy space.
That sounds good. And here at one point you are speaking about, getting EV to like every other home in India, in improving the accessibility of your vehicles and getting them to like every other home in India. But at the other end, you've also launched vehicles in the premium and the luxury segment. So how do you balance, the accessibility, like which is your aspiration, along with, maintaining that aspiration for MG cars?
Yeah, great question. So when we were in developing the 5-year plan, we used the Roger Martin framework of where to play and how to win. And that framework clearly said that, yes, there is a lot of room to grow market share and volume in the mass market. But at the same time, there were certain trends that we were observing. The trends were, premiumization was taking place in India at a very rapid clip rate. You look at premium housing, you look at fashion, you look at cars. The premiumization was taking place in India at a very fast rate. Second thing that we noticed is within premium cars, the EV penetration is higher, almost twice of mass market. So it fit quite nicely into our strategic framework saying, hey, if we want to be a leading automotive brand in the new energy space, here is a segment that is getting into premium cars, and it is getting into EVs far more than the mass market. Then we went in and looked at our portfolio to say, hey, what can we bring to the market to serve the market? We were clear that the first batch of products, first 2 products have to be very disruptive, because you cannot bring a Me Too sort of a product. That's why the first car that we launched was Cyberster, which is a roadster. It's a sports car in EV. And the second is the M9, which is an MPV. Both EVs. Why MPV? Because people are spending far more amount of time on the road today, both on account of the quality of the roads improving, and at the same time, congestion is also going up. So people want to spend time on the road, but they want to be comfortable. And that's why what we call presidential limousine is what M9 is referred to. And that is why we brought these 2 products to begin with. And the balance is great because it creates a certain aspirational value for the technology that we are bringing in. And that aspirational value will always rub off on the mass market.
Wonderful. And this is also, I think you finished 6 months at JSW MG Motor. How has your Ford experience helped you shape some of the strategies over here? And if I may also ask, how do you evaluate yourself, on these 6 months that you've completed over here?
So that's a great question. I should ask the board to give me a performance report. But I think the first 6 months have been fantastic, to say the least. It is a very exciting space. 3 things I tell everyone who asks me this question. My first impressions. The products are fantastic. I think there's nothing like an EV product today. Just in terms of the experience that you get of the product is fantastic. Second, the shareholders' commitment to the business is phenomenal. I think both the shareholders or primary shareholders are very committed to the business. And third is the talent that we have, both within MG as well as within the dealers, is fantastic. I think all the ingredients are in place in order to ensure that it is an extremely successful venture.
And past 6 months generally for the auto industry haven't been that easy or that kind, with supply chain issues because of rare earth shortage. Tell us more, how much do you see the impact of it also going forward?
You're absolutely right, Shivani. The industry is actually growing at 1.5% in the first half, which is Jan to June. We are growing at about 25 to 30%. So we are growing faster than the industry is. The festival season is coming up. In fact, August is when the Onam kind of kicks off, and we are all very excited about the festival season. It will give all of us a chance to kind of re-energize and approach the festival season with a lot more gusto than probably the first half has been. I think all the OEMs are really looking forward to the festival season now.
And what are your expectations in terms of bookings? What are the sentiment that you're picking up, consumer sentiment that you're picking up around this year's festival season?
Yeah, so I think there is a lot of optimism in the market. I think there are a lot of steps that the government is taking and the state governments are taking to promote EVs. You've seen that in Maharashtra, you've seen it in Karnataka. Each of the state policies are very progressive, and they are all committed to ensuring the adoption of EV picks up. We have seen that in the numbers. Like I said, the industry finished off at about 2.5% of the total industry for EVs. Today we are sitting at 5%. July was at 5.5% of the total industry was EVs. So consumers are taking to EVs very aggressively. State governments are supporting it. It also kind of lines up beautifully to the automotive mission 2047 of the government. So all the stars are aligned. Now we just have to ensure that we deliver in the festival season.
Stars are aligned, but a festive season also brings in long waiting periods after you've booked your vehicle, after you've booked your car. So what are the steps that you are taking to ensure that consumers don't have to go through any of these issues, especially when it comes to booking and the delivery of their desired vehicle on the desired festive date?
I think the important thing is to get the right balance in terms of your ability to forecast the industry and your own sales, and then ensuring that the plant team is manufacturing to the forecasted demand so that you don't end up in either of the situations, which is one where there is too much product with the dealers or there is too little product that is available with the dealers. So you have to balance it well. There is a lot of historical data that is used to be able to do demand forecasting. And yeah, I mean, we are looking forward. I think we are very transparent with our customers on the kind of delivery timelines that we can offer, and would love to get a chance to bring an EV to them at the earliest possible.
Almost every auto player is trying to expedite the new GST implementation to, intersect it with Navratri period for the consumers to not wait beyond the festival to go ahead and do their booking. Are you also lobbying for that? Are you also pushing for that to happen?
I think collectively as an industry, we are both from OEMs as well as dealers, everybody's come together and requested the government to precipitate the GST reforms, as the Prime Minister has mentioned on 15th of August. I think for us, given that our center of gravity is EVs or new energy vehicles, we are lesser impacted because the EV GST rates continue to be at 5%. But as an industry body, we are all working together to impress upon the government to expedite the announcements that may be.
Do you feel the possibility of that happening?
Well, like James Bond, never say never. You kind of wait and you watch. I think 3rd or 4th of September is when the GST Council is expected to meet. So we are looking forward to seeing how early it can be confirmed.
And if it doesn't happen, what is the contingency plan if the consumers are indeed waiting and watching for, the GST regime?
I think there is enough scenario planning that all of us in the industry are doing. Like I said, we will be lesser impacted primarily because our center of gravity is EVs, to which the GST is unlikely to change.
Great. Thank you so much. Thanks for joining us, Anurag.
Thank you. Thank you very much for talking to us.
It is time for a short break. On the other side, we have special segment Decoding B2B Marketing.